Hello, everybody. This is AKA Heather Joy. You have boarded the lifeboat. Dr. Kate's going to be joining us shortly. She's got a little bit of an emergency. As soon as she's done, she will be on with us. And I want to say hello to everybody on my channel as well, because I am streaming to my channel tonight too. That is why I started my channel, was to for people that have to deal with chronic pain, depression, that kind of thing. So what we're going to be talking tonight is perfect for my channel. So hello to everybody there too. Before I get started, let me run through the rules we have here on the lifeboat. Oh, you want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, goodness. All right, here we go. Oh, did I get the right one? Yes, I did. The first one, please, um, let's not discuss politics in the live chat. It's a little bit too triggering right now. The second one we have, please, no overbearing religion. This isn't a religious channel. It is fine to say, I'm going to pray for you, or, I couldn't have found sobriety without my God. That's fine. But please respect one another's beliefs. Let's not shove our religion down one another's throats. Third one, please refrain from swearing in the live chat and the comment section. As Tommy always says, if you can't control your mouth, you can't control your life. The fourth one, please, no trolls. This is a place where we come to build one another up, to help one another, and there's just no place for being mean. I will toss you overboard. There's to it. Anyway, if you wouldn't mind. Oh, I hit the wrong one. I can't see what I'm doing. Where did I put it? There it is. Please, if you haven't hit that like button, please exit out of the live chat and just give a little love tap. I really appreciate it. Please share these videos out. And if there's anybody you think could benefit, please, you know, sorry, I've got a million things going on in my head. I can't keep track of everything. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. That would be awesome. I just went outside a minute ago to check on my little chickens. I have a bunch of bantam, half-size little frizzles out in the backyard. We have a case of tuna fish that is past its expiration date, and tell you what, you want to see chickens jump in the air to try to catch food. You take that kind of tuna fish out, they will jump in the air trying to grab it. It's so funny. Going out there and playing with them. It's awesome. Okay. Anyway, as I well, we are going to be talking as soon as Dr. K can join us. We're going to be talking about the psychology of chronic pain. That's something I have dealt with now for, I don't know. I think it began for me in 2016, and it was kind of suspected. First it was fibromyalgia, and I was diagnosed with that in 2017, and I've learned a lot since then. Learning how to live with it. And my latest little diagnosis is some lupus, and it's just causing all kinds of fun chronic pain issues. I'm still learning, but there are a lot of things that I have learned that I'm really hoping other people, if I can share that with other people, we can benefit. But we are really blessed to have Dr. K coming on in a little bit, because she spent 2 years working at a pain clinic, and the patients would see the doctor, and whatever treatments were prescribed for them for their pain issues, they had that. But then they were seeing Dr. K. I don't know if she was the only one there, but she has some strategies, some things that you can do so that you're not so focused. Anybody who lives with chronic pain knows that it's a tough one, and sometimes that's all you can focus on. And she's got some really good ideas that will help you to take, occupy your mind with other things, and make it so that it's not so overwhelming and it doesn't take over your life. Because I remember a time where I really, really struggled, and now I just laid on the couch. I couldn't get up, I couldn't move. It wasn't fun. So I'm really excited she's going to be on, and she will be with us. I apologize. She did have an emergency, and she needed to attend to it right now. Anyway, let me say hello to everybody that's here in the chat. We've got Flamin Jackson and Dennis N, Allison Stacy, Trish Killian, Seventh Son, Goosebump, Noise Opera. Let's see, who else? You got Miss V, Goosebump, Miss Dragon is here somewhere. Matt is here. Let's see, Valerie, glad to see you in Virginia. And Cindy Party, Goddess Divine. Got a great group here. This is awesome. Let's see if hey Kenneth, now there is a new name to me. Welcome. I'm glad you are here. Let's see. If I missed anybody, I apologize. Tina Marie, hello. Glad you are here. Awesome. We got a lot of people here. This is good. This is good. All right. Now, for many of us, there are a lot of us that, as when we're in our addiction, sometimes people become addicted. Oh, I see Leisure here. Oh, glad you're here. Awesome. For a lot of us, when we have, when you struggle with chronic pain, if if your doctor gives you, opiates, opioids, whatever, that's often a time when people become addicted to it. And and even if that was your drug of choice, but it wasn't that you were taking it for chronic pain, but you became addicted anyhow. When you have, when you decide that you just don't want to live in that addiction anymore, and you go through the withdrawals and you go through everything that you have to go through to get sober again, one of the things that so many people, whether you had chronic pain before or not, once you come off of the opiates or the opioids, pain is a very real thing. Not fun, not fun at all. The nice thing is there are a lot of alternatives, a lot of other things that can be done so that you can live with it. One of my favorite ways, honestly, and it took me a long time to learn this. It took a lot of coaxing. Oh, hey, snot face, hey. But it took a lot of coaxing from my husband to get me up off the couch. But you wouldn't believe, oh, you got Peace Be the Journey. I missed you. I apologize. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's or was I sorry? I feel so squirrely today. Um, there are a lot of other alternatives, to pain meds. And I really hope that, for a long time, I won't have to go back to that. I really don't think it's a good option for me at all. I already know it's not a good option. I can't control myself with them. I mean, I've worked around them a little bit, as a nurse, but I quit nursing for quite a while because I didn't want to work around it. It was too tempting. That is definitely opioids, definitely my drug of choice. And yeah, I don't want that again. So I've had to explore all kinds of other ways. I don't remember where I was. I was talking about, exercise. It took a lot of coaxing from my husband, and I was reading, when I was finally had my, official diagnosis that I had fibromyalgia. uh, After a while, everything that I tried with I see a PA, and I also see a pain specialist now too, but everything that they had tried, the supplements that had been suggested, all of I tried a bunch of different medications. There's a couple of antidepressants that do help some people with not only depression, but with chronic pain. I don't, I'm a very hard case that way. I don't respond to them very well. Just for my depression, it takes a lot of medication to get me to respond, just because I think it's not only it runs on both sides of my family, mental illness, but it's also the big head injuries that I have had. I mean, I've had some serious ones, and it just kind of compounded. Well, come here and quit whining. Come here. I don't know what you're wanting. Anyway, I tried a lot of things, and I tried, what is that one? Lyrica. It's similar to gabapentin. I hated that one. Oh, that one made me feel so it was such, I don't know, for me it was a very heavy drug, and I could not wait for it to get out of my system. I think I took it for over a week thinking, well, I'll get used to it. I mean, and I remember sitting in church, I felt absolutely drugged, and people were looking at me and walking up to me going, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No." I was so, I just felt like I was weighted down, so I really had to start looking for other alternatives. And there have been a lot of things I have found that have helped. Um, but I think the best one, the thing I responded to more than anything has been exercise. And it took a long time to figure out what type. I was doing CrossFit. I was trying, just that. I switched to weight training, and then I started running. And for me, that was the key. I don't know why, but that's what works for me. I get the most relief if I can run every other day. And I have learned, I tried for a long time, I was running every day, but it became way too hard on my body. My joints, my tendons, everything. I just need time. I don't sleep well. Oh, guess who's here? Awesome. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to be covering on my channel is all of the things that I've learned. So if you guys deal with pain, you'll want to be coming over there. I'm going to be starting to post a lot more over there soon. Anyway, here we have Dr. K. Let's see it. I cannot hear you. She'll get it. She knows how to fix this. Anyway, let's see, Miss Dragon. Yeah, they tried Cymbalta on you. Oh, really? Major. I have heard that before. People have heard that, and yeah, and wait, somebody was just saying something. Oh, Trish, yeah, Lyrica. Oh, it was so heavy. Yeah, it was not fun. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I do now that, when they're all combined, they bring enough relief most of the time. Oh, here she is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just checking.
Oh, no,
Okay.
no. I was just trying to fill in for a moment. I was just talking about all the dumb, there's so many little things that I can do, that when you combine them together, you get enough relief that most of the time you can get through your day, with pain. So, but I
I
really
think,
want to hear
I apologize. I had a
it.
problem with a client, but it's all settled. So I didn't dry my hair yet, but who cares? And I didn't
Ah,
time to put on makeup, but who cares, right? So
it's
as long as I'm
not a
good.
problem.
And of course, I'm having like a total sweat attack. So I'm like, great.
I am too.
It's
Menopause.
it's that time of our lives, right?
Yeah.
So, but no, it sounds like you were already talking about psychology and pain because there's so many. I mean, I don't think I've ever shared my story of pain. I don't remember, but I also have chronic pain. I've had that since I was a child.
Oh,
And
wow.
I have, for those of you out there, most people know about scoliosis.
Mhm.
You're a nurse, so I have kyphosis. So I have
Oh,
Scheuermann's disease, now they call it. But
oh.
when I was diagnosed at 11, it was called a dorsal kyphosis.
Mhm.
So about the age of 11, I'm 5'8", and I was 5'8" at 11.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yes, yes, double D's also at 11.
Oh
Okay, so
no.
it was awful. Okay, but let's
Well,
not
that
go.
didn't help your back pain either, did it? Oh no.
That's another show. Okay, that's funny. So what happened was I was slouching a lot, and my mom thought, well, maybe she wants to be the same, the same height as her peers. So we had a
Oh.
doctor look at me, so I could show you if everybody out there could see, because I don't just talk it, I walk it,
Mm.
literally. So my back does the hunchback. I hate that's the nickname, but it is.
Yeah, the dowager's hump, I think. My mother has the same thing.
Yes, I can't
Yeah.
straighten it right here.
Oh,
So
wow.
I wore a back brace for 4 years as a teenager. Of course, I hid it. I didn't wear it at school. And then I
Uh-huh.
wore it everywhere else. I was a swimmer. I did everything I could. And now we know the back braces don't even help. But
Yeah.
back then, I wore it for years and years. Um, so I've had pain my entire life that was part of my life. So I didn't know anything other than pain. Like it was
Oh, wow.
normalized, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And I got into a car accident in 2003,
Ooh.
and that was it. The pain was unreal in my back. And that's what started me seeing pain management doctors, getting on pills,
Mm-hmm.
dependence, addiction. Now we're all the way up to today. So the loves that I have in life, like the things that I want to do, I always say if I could help somebody out there. The reason that we do this is I know what it's like to have chronic pain. And I know what it's like to have chronic pain with anxiety and depression. They go hand in hand.
They
And,
really do.
and so many people have said that they experience that as well on the lifeboat. So that's, oh, good. You're looking at because I can't look at the same time. my ADHD, I can't do it. So if there's any comments, but I thought today it might be a refresher for some people, but just kind of talk about what pain is and how psychology is used. Psychologists and medical doctors treat pain. So that's kind of where I wanted to go today. And it sounds like a lot of people wanted me to do that. So is that still, we still have time,
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah.
I'm getting out my little notes because I took a bunch of notes so I could do this. And I thought, what better way to focus on pain than to look at what the word pain means? Because what's our definition of pain? And I was looking it up. Pain comes from Middle English, from the Anglo-French word P-E-I-N-E. Don't ask me how to pronounce it. Pain, and that word means
Middle
pain.
English, I don't remember.
I know, and it
I
means
studied it a long time ago.
yeah. So basically, that's a word we use now for pain, but that word meant suffering. And in Latin, the word used for pain meant punishment. A lot of people think that this is a punishment. I'm in pain because I did something wrong. The Greek word poine means penalty. So all these negative connotations around the word pain. And I have the definition if I can find it, because I actually wrote down the actual definition. And the definition, which I'm not finding it, here it is.
I love it that you're going to the etiology of the word. I love that. That's my style.
Okay, good, because I think it's important to understand pain, negative connotation. 30 years ago, pain was looked at very differently than it is 5 years ago than it is today.
Oh, it's so different. When I was in nursing school compared to now, very different.
Yeah,
They
it
used
really
to
is.
think that pain was just something you should never feel.
Yeah.
It's what I was
Unless
taught,
you have cancer and you're dying. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how I was taught too.
Yeah.
The International Association, let me make sure I'm getting them right. The International Association for the Study of Pain. So to me, they're the big wigs. They have lectures on YouTube that I recommend highly watching. They're amazing. At the International Association for the Study of Pain, which comes out of Stanford University, their definition of pain is an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience associated with or resembling that associated with actual or potential tissue damage. So that's a long thing, but basically,
Yeah.
unpleasant sensory and emotional.
Emotional.
And they have added the word emotional to their definition. So now it's not really why it used to be, why would you refer me if I'm in pain to a psychologist? You don't believe me. You don't think I'm in pain. Like I talked about fibromyalgia. People didn't think it existed. No, that's not true. It is a sensory experience that affects our emotions.
Oh, yeah.
So I know when I'm having a good day and I'm thinking positive, I won't even be thinking about my pain. Or maybe it's in the background. But if I'm having a crappy day and I'm just feeling bad, my pain feels worse. And I notice that dependent upon my mood. And that's what all my patients tell me the same thing. Everyone I've talked to tells me the same exact thing. So I don't want to get too scientific on everybody, Okay, so if I do, just write in the comments and they're but very quick explanation, I thought, and you could even help me of oof. I had a
Look at
physical
that one. That's bizarre.
I had a physical therapist that told me, I assume that's what it means, that pain isn't real. Yeah, pain's real.
Wait
and
till it hits him or her, whoever it was. Wait till
yeah,
they get it. Wait till they get older.
yeah, pain is absolutely real, and it is not just psychological. It's sensory. And that's why I wanted to go a little bit, Trish, to what you said. It's called gate control theory. I want to do a really brief presentation. I've gone to presentations where they talk about this for 3 hours. We're not doing that. I want to do it down and dirty, as I call it, quick 1 minute definition of what gate control theory is. And this is where the mind body connection is. So if you can imagine, all right, you sit in the chair and you bang your elbow. Okay, you bang your elbow. That sensation now has to travel from your elbow through your body into your spinal cord. Then the spinal cord, which interprets pain, goes to your brain. Now the centers that are hit are pain, pleasure, emotion, and then it goes back to the arm. That's like a split-second thing. But
Yep.
that's to let you know that it is real. It takes a second to travel. Okay. And gate control theory is if we can somehow look at the spine and something that we know. I'm getting too ahead of myself. For example, somebody who's very anxious, you want to do what you can to alleviate that symptom. Let me see what this is. I've run I've run for 50 years. A few years I switched to walking, but that hurt my knees. Now I do 3 miles a day. Wow, that's awesome. 4
I
days a week.
know.
That's great. They actually
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just thought that was a good comment, though. That was.
no, and from what I've learned, running is not the best thing it's horrible for your knees, and they recommend not running and to do light walking. So that's okay. That's what I remember. But the pain you feel, Trish and everybody else, is real. And we know that because pain is biologically processed in the brain. That's where this is all happening. Emotions and thoughts are part of the pain experience. You can't have pain if you don't have emotions and thoughts associated with it. So, for example, the elbow. If I hit my elbow and, I'm about to go online and do this talk on YouTube, I'm not going to worry about it. It's not going to bother me. If I hit my elbow and I go, wow, I really hurt my elbow. Ooh, and I focus on the pain. Now my body's going into that flight or fight response. Now my body, the pupils are getting dilated. My heart rhythm is going up. And that's where people, I think, have a hard time understanding that pain is real, because to them it's a perception. You had asked me a while ago what I did my dissertation on. And I did a dissertation on distraction devices while children were getting immunization procedures, getting shots. And the title of my dissertation, it wasn't just gender and pain. It looked at gender too. It was gender and I just totally lost the word. Pain, like the pain effect, perception of pain. Thank you. Pain perception. Because we all perceive it differently. So your pain level might be higher than mine. I have a pretty high pain level. I often think if my husband could feel the pain in my back, he'd be debilitated in bed, but I'm up and moving, but I could be wrong. It could be wrong. But that pain is real. And those emotions and thoughts are where psychologists come in. And we try to say, if you can look at the pain differently, the pain will actually feel different. So it is a part of the sensory and psychological experience. So I think when people say it isn't real, what they mean is that you can focus on it or find techniques like we did progressive relaxation the other day. That was a quick introduction. But that's something that lowers your heart rate, that increases breathing and get the oxygen in your body. And then those techniques are used in pain psychology so that they're a part of your life. You don't just say, oh, I'm in pain, I'm going to do progressive muscle relaxation. You do progressive muscle relaxation for 10 minutes a day. And maybe that's part of your routine now. And I cannot take pain medicine.
Yep.
I had a
Me
dependence
either.
and then an addiction. I am no longer, I've had doctors tell me, oh, we can have it given to you in a, you know, locked box, and every 4 hours it pops up, but I cannot take it.
Yeah,
I
I can't either.
disease, and that is addiction. And that disease will not allow me to take pain medicine. What is interesting is being off of pain medicine for so long. I don't know about your experience, but my pain is less being
Oh,
off
really?
medicine. So being
Wow.
on the medicine, what was happening in the body is that you're saying, body, I'm hurting, I'm going to take this pill. The pill does that progressive relaxation for you, which is that euphoria. That's why it feels so good. Your body's relaxed. Well, now the pain centers in your head are going, wait, she didn't hear us. We're in pain. So we're going to shout a little louder. Can you hear us now? We're in
Mm,
pain. You have more pain, which means more medication, and so on and so forth. Then you become dependent, and it's just natural. There's nothing, I'm not a bad person, because none of us are bad. That's what happens. Your body
yep.
becomes dependent on those chemicals, and then sometimes it can cause an addiction. And I mean, I don't know of anyone who's been on pain medicine longer than 6 weeks who wouldn't meet the criteria for
Well, at
for
least dependency.
right. So it's not a bad thing. People mix up dependency and addiction all the time too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, you can be physically dependent on something, but not psychologically addicted to it.
yeah. Like a long time ago, the doctor gave me Xanax, and I remember I was dependent on it. If I didn't take it for 2 days, I did not feel good,
Mm.
but I never used more than I should. I never sought the drug in other means.
Hmm.
That's where the addiction comes out.
Yeah.
But getting back to chronic pain or pain in general. So when you have chronic pain, there's 3 parts of it. So we talked about the emotions. I like to call it feelings, but we can go with emotions, and I'll explain a little bit why. But talk about emotions, thoughts, and activities. That's really what chronic pain comes down to. It affects the way you think, which affects the way you feel, which affects how you behave, i.e., your exercises. I've heard this so many times. Well, I woke up today and I felt great. So I got all the stuff done in the house. 3 hours I did. And then for 3 days, I was knocked out in bed. You did too much. You've got to plan the activity so that you tell yourself, and this is cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. This is something that you can do with a psychologist. You say, you know what, I'm going to do 15 minutes of work today around the house. And then for 10 minutes after, I'm going to do progressive muscle relaxation. And that's all I'm doing. Because the next day you're going to feel good. You're going to feel better about doing the activity. And then you're going to want to do more, but within your comfort zone. You know, even I sometimes, well, I didn't feel pain, so I'm going to go the extra mile. I'll feel it tomorrow. I can only do a certain amount. You know,
Yeah.
vacuuming, I can do about 10 minutes, and that's it. Otherwise, my back pain is tremendous. So I do my 10 minutes, and then I do my relaxing. So so far, does that make sense to everybody? I mean, it's just,
I love that. And I wish someone would have told me that a long time ago,
yeah,
because I do that all the time where I'll knock myself out for days. You know,
yeah,
I'll feel really good. I'll go for my run. I'll go do the chickens. I'll muck out one of the coops, and then I'll go home and clean up the house or do the laundry, whatever. And then
yeah.
I'm dead for 3 days. Yeah, you're just
Yeah, that's
out.
why I said 3 days, because I've been there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't do it. You have to plan your act. I think it's called plan. I forget the name of it in psychology, but actually planning those activities around what your body can handle and not pressing too far beyond.
Have you ever heard chronic pain described in spoon theory? Have you heard that before?
In
Spoon theory. There was a lady that had
oh,
chronic pain. She had fibromyalgia. She was
okay.
in a diner with her friend, and her friend did not understand. She didn't think fibromyalgia was a thing,
Huh. Okay.
and she just didn't understand. And they were sitting in a diner, and the lady behind the counter, was rolling up silverware, and there were a bunch of spoons laying there. And so she tried to explain to her like this, and this is spoon theory now. It's a fibromyalgia thing. She just
Wow.
took a bunch of spoons and she said, "Okay, every day I have this, when I wake up in the morning, I have this many spoons. Okay, if I take my kids to school, there goes a spoon. Okay, you got this many left. If I vacuum, there's a spoon. If I do this, there's a spoon. If I run out of spoons, I'm done." She tried to explain it that way, and
Yeah.
the friend got it, because she said, people that have chronic pain don't look sick. They don't
No.
look like they're hurting. We hide
Right.
it really well, and
Yeah.
and people think it's not a thing. But I always loved the spoon theory
That's a
idea,
great way
and
to
I
look.
like that, because if you've got things you've got to do, you've got to save spoons for them. So what
Yeah.
you're saying, by planning things out and only doing so much
And
and
it's
then doing
intentional.
your self-care, I love this.
It's not so the next 3 days you have no spoons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you've used up everything.
And I do something similar actually when I do presentations in front of people for pain management. Um, I take a cup. I can't do it here, but I take a cup, and I tell people this is you, and I put a little hole in the bottom of the cup,
Mm,
and all the water I'm putting in, that's your energy, that's all that stuff, and taking the kids to school. Now notice what's going to happen if there's a hole in my cup. All the water is going to run out. And I'm going to be empty. My bucket is going to be empty. They use that expression. My glass is empty. What fills my cup up? We have to find things to block that hole. That might be relaxation. That might be going to the movies once a week. And those are the things that fill my own cup up, which
I like
I
that.
that helps me because I see it coming out. I see the water coming out. So it's very similar to the spoons. I like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I like that a lot. Um, nobody wants to get into brain stuff, but just if anybody wanted to know, the amygdala is part of the emotions that are affected and part of the neural system involved in emotional processing. That's the confusion with pain. Pain is processed through the amygdala. The
Mm,
amygdala is our emotional center.
yeah.
You can see why pain is associated with emotions. And, it is an emotion. Are us Gen Xers allowed to admit pain, or do we have to still keep acting like we don't have it? I push my fibromyalgia to the limits of crying, which is unfortunately way past people who aren't spoonies. Everyone
Yeah.
is allowed to admit their pain, and I I get that. I don't like to talk about my pain. I like to
Yeah.
pretend it's not there, but the truth is we have it, and
Yeah.
pushing to your limits does nothing but deplete you for days on end afterwards. You're doing no one any good, and you're not being your best you. That's what you want to be.
Yeah.
You want to be your best you, and you can't if you're pushing too much. Um,
I have learned the hard way too, that there's just some things I have to let go too.
yeah,
My house used to be spotless and not cluttered.
yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. I've had to learn to just let things go,
yeah.
you know?
Housework is not something that, when I have money, I will hire someone to help me clean. Otherwise, I
Mm,
do it little by little. Today was dishes. I did the dishes. That's an accomplishment. And that's it. I'm not going to go, oh, let me go do this and that. I'm not going to do it. Um, I'm looking through my notes and I already went through half of what I wanted to say, which is great. Um, but coping with the emotions to reduce anxiety and depression. This is what I wanted to do. Cope in those emotions. Come
because
on.
it really does. The anxiety and the depression come, especially when you first are hit with pain, Yeah, I mean, if people have been able to do, so many things, and then they get hit and they can't. I mean, I've seen people just drop with depression, you
Yeah.
know. I mean, I've seen a lady that had fibromyalgia that, had the diagnosis, and within 2 months, her hair went completely gray. And
Wow.
she was so just gone, not herself. I mean, so in such a deep depression, she couldn't even get out of bed.
Okay, so here's what happens in that situation. So you have pain, you're trying to ignore it. This person has pain, and truthfully, sometimes it is hard to get out of bed. So she chooses not to get out of bed. It's a choice. I mean, I think if you,
Yeah.
in most situations, you can really try to get yourself out of bed. But if you're depressed, it's going to feel like you cannot get out of bed. Therefore, you stay in bed. Now you're in bed, you're not doing anything to accomplish any of your daily tasks. Nothing. You have no spoons in your drawer, and you're going to feel more depressed. The more depressed you feel, they've done studies, the more depressed you are, the more your nerve endings feel pain. So
Mm-hmm.
you feel more pain, you process it more, and then you don't want to get out of bed. You stay in bed. Now that's going to make you more depressed, which is going to cause more pain. I can't tell you how great it is, the thought of sleeping 8 hours straight. But if I slept 8 hours straight, my back would kill me because that's 8 hours laying with my back. So you have to take the good with the bad as I put my feet up and get comfy. So that's
Yeah.
why I was trying to do some relaxation techniques the other day. Some of those that you can do at home that'll be really easy. Expressive writing. Write that question about Gen Xers. It's true. Write it down. Say, this is how it feels. Get those emotions out. It enables you. So, relaxation first. And then expressive writing has been shown. I'm a big research person. It's been shown to reduce depression symptoms and anxiety. Just expressing
Wow.
yourself. Because how often, I don't tell people what's going on in my head usually. When
Yeah.
I'm in pain, I can't remember last time I talked about pain, but sometimes it's nice to just journal about it,
Mm-hmm.
just to get it out on paper. It's just, we've talked about that before in burning paper. So, um, but common techniques, and I am a cognitive behavioral therapist, can't help it. So, common techniques in CBT for chronic pain to help you cope with distressing emotions includes pain. Diaphragmatic breathing. So I hope
Mm.
everybody knows that one. That's where you breathe with your belly, balloon breathing for the kids. Breathing, nice deep breath, slowly letting it out. Progressive muscle relaxation, guided imagery, which I also did the other day when I was talking about the sun beaming on you and feeling yourself kind of melting. That feeling, that's guided imagery. All those things help reduce pain. Mindfulness, being aware of the moment and where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a day you couldn't get out of bed, but you did walk to the kitchen to get yourself a glass of water, and then you went back to bed. That counts. You got out of bed to get the water. Those little things, being mindful that it's not, oh, I stayed in bed all day, therefore the day is ruined. No, I did something. I got up, and that's what makes me feel good. So we talked about expressive writing. Um, oh, this is what I was talking about. I knew it had a name. I just couldn't remember. Scheduled. It's where you schedule those things. I'll get into it, but identifying and scheduling pleasant activities. So
Mm.
people always say, "Well, take a bath." Okay, maybe that's not your thing. So first, before we can figure out the scheduling process, we got to figure out what is it that relaxes us. Once we
Yeah.
figure it out, we have to find time for it. Just like we have to find time to do work around the farm, you have to find the time that's appropriate. You can't spend 20 hours doing pleasant activities. You won't get other stuff done. But
Yeah.
hopefully, the other activities aren't too bad. And something I do, every client says to me, that makes no sense. And then they do it and they go, that made sense.
Yeah.
It's scheduling worry time. And I mean that.
Hmm.
Constructive worry time. So you tell your brain, let's say anxiety is your issue or pain. We're talking about pain. I'm not going to discuss my pain today. I'm not going to think about my pain. But from 7 to 8 p.m., I'm going to focus on my pain. So I feel pain right now. I'm not going to think about it. But from 7 to 8 p.m. every night for an hour, I'm going to think and journal about my pain. Sounds weird. What happens is every time you have a distressing thought, your brain's going to say, oh, wait, it's not 7 o'clock yet. I'll think that full thought at 7.
Ah.
As you do this, a full hour never feels like enough. But then 45 minutes and you're like, wait, I have 15 more minutes to think about my pain. I don't want to. Next time it's 40 minutes. And after you've done this for 8 weeks, you're down to 5 minutes. It really works. I take time out to think about my pain.
Oh, I'm going to try this.
Take a time between, I don't know, for me, my husband works till 6. He gets home at 6:20. He cooks. I'm so happy. So, but from 7 to 7:30 is my time to focus on my pain, whatever it is that's worrying me. And then at 7:30, I let it go. And I'm mindful that I'm going to enjoy myself and have a wonderful night.
Ooh.
And it works. It doesn't sound like it. I know it sounds like mind over matter. Oh, yeah.
But we have to try it. We have to at least try it, you know?
It does work because you're going to say, my brain literally knows, oh, it's not time to, kvetch right now about my pain. It's not 7 o'clock yet. From 7 to 7:30, I will. So that's called scheduling worry time. And it really makes a difference. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. And anything, I'll just keep talking. Stop me.
There was a comment right back here I wanted to pull up, if you don't mind. Let's see. Oh, right here, Rhiannon. I know I go to work most days in anticipation of my day, so I can rest. It's no way to live, though. The pain gets me almost to an alive status, simply because I know it will never get better. That's a little that I used to think like that, like, because I know it's just mine is probably going to get worse as I go on, but I don't know. What would you suggest that how would you suggest she frame this so that it doesn't push her to that point?
Reframing would be going to work and trying to be able to reflect maybe on your day and on what you were able to accomplish, even though you are in so much pain. You're working. There's people on disability for pain. I mean, so if you're working, what are you doing? I think you're probably far more capable of things than you realize.
Yeah.
And I was just about to get into negative thoughts. So when I hear a statement that pain gets me almost to unalive status, simply because I know it will never get better. Okay. That's
discouraging.
Statement.
That is discouraging, though. That's like, wow,
When I get older, I'm going to be the hunched little old lady. That is going to be me, unfortunately. I know that. But I refuse to allow my precious moments on this earth to focus on that. I'm focusing on the here and now. And what I wanted to say is I was going to throw out some thoughts because these are really common thoughts. So that thought, very common. And I'm going to incorporate that, I promise. How many people have thought this? There's nothing I can do to cope with this pain. Nothing works. I'll never be happy again because of my pain. I feel worthless because of my pain. I'm scared my pain is going to get worse and I won't be able to cope. We all think that. Negative thinking does not. These are all natural thoughts, but it's how we deal with that. So things are going to get worse. I know that. It's going to do nothing but put you into a state of depression. I'm trying to process it. It's these unhelpful thoughts that make us feel anxious, sad. They're common and they're normal thoughts. I know I have a note in here somewhere so cognitive behavioral therapy. Let me tell you, this is the thing. This is something that Stanford talks about. Okay, it's going to directly answer her question. Cool. It's the 3 C's: catch it, check it, change it.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah, So the 3 C's, the first one is catch it, meaning catch the negative thought. So the thought is, oh, I wish the thought was back up there. It's never going to get better. It's always going to be something like,
that it won't get better.
I'll never be happy again because of this pain. I know it's going to get worse. Okay, let's just say that's it.
Oh,
Catch
here
that
it
thought.
was. Yeah.
I know my pain will never get better.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that's the thought. You got to catch that you're thinking that way. So you're already halfway through. 50% of it is just knowing what you're thinking and being mindful. So you're already 50% done.
Mm-hmm.
The other 25% is check it. And that means saying to yourself, is it helpful to remind myself that this is going to get worse for the rest of my life? Is this in any way useful for my daily moment right now to be focused on my day off rather than living in the moment and finding some good things that are going on at work? Camaraderie. There's so many bad things, but there's good things too. But, getting along with others at work. What evidence do you have that you know it will never get better? I mean, pain. I've seen people go from being in wheelchairs to walking out of my office because they're thinking differently. Yes, I know I will be in a wheelchair probably in 20 years from now, 30 years from now. But I rarely focus on that. I want to focus on all the good times now. That's not so checking it is, and is it entirely true? I mean, your pain is never going to get better. That's like somebody saying, I'm never going to be happy again because I'm in pain. You'll never be happy. Those are strong words. Never.
Yeah.
So check it. So you catch the thought, then you check it. And that's where you look at what evidence do you have for it and against it. And then change it. Now, this is the hardest part. Change it isn't just have a positive thought. This is the really hard part. So I'm going to read exactly what I wrote down. Change it. So I just used a thought that I have often, which is, I'm never going to be happy. I'll never get rid of this pain. So I use that thought. And the change it is, instead of thinking I'll never be happy because of my pain, I change it to, this pain is difficult to cope with at times, but I have some really good days. I'm on the lifeboat on Monday nights from 5 to 6. I get to go to my annual meeting on Saturdays that I love. I get to help my clients, which makes me feel so good.
I know. Isn't that the best addiction, to help people? It really is.
And I have to focus on that and the tools in my arsenal before I'm going to allow my brain to do, sorry, but I call it the pity party. Like I will save that for 7 to 8. So,
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I got to schedule that in because I fall into the pity party way too often.
but if you say to yourself, I'm not going to do it except for between 7 and 8, that means
Yeah.
6, you have to say, I can't think about that right now. You're teaching yourself mindfulness at the exact moment that you're doing it.
Yeah. And I found, with things like that, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes and the more effective it becomes. But you have to stay at it. You have to keep at it.
I
You
do.
know?
I've had practice for dozens of years, and now I do it automatically. I have
That's
to
so
literally
cool.
stop and go, what did I do? But it takes 2 weeks to break a habit. So, got to give yourself, research says 8 weeks and you'll see a huge difference. I've seen people 3-4 sessions in.
Wow.
One of the techniques is thought stopping, picturing a stop sign. Let's say you're at work and you're having that, I cannot wait till I'm off. I cannot wait till Saturday. So I have a day off. Oh God, it's only Monday. I have to work till Friday. Okay. I'm sure we've all thought that way. And telling yourself, no, I can, right now, I'm going to focus on the moment and getting through this day and getting things done. Instead of focusing on something that you could be anxious about in the future, there'll be time from 7 to 8 at night for you to think those thoughts. But you're not allowed to think of many other times during the day. Thought stopping. So you're at work and you have the thought. Now it's automatic now, right? So you just have it all the time. When you think the thought, you picture a stop sign in your mind, and that's going to tell you to stop that thought. Wait till worry time later, pity party later at 7 o'clock, whatever time you choose. But thought stopping is having that thought and literally picturing a stop sign that tells you stop the thought. I have
Hmm.
kids draw stop signs. And when they're thinking bad about themselves, they are to look at the stop sign and it reminds them. So I have them put a sign next to their bed. And I always say, have the craziest figure you can holding it. So, like a clown holding a stop sign, silly clown, not uh, on your back door and then on the refrigerator. Because those are the places we go in our house and the bathroom. So you see stop signs everywhere, little stop signs, stickers. I always wanted to get stickers and have them say, stop with Dr. K. And it reminds you to stop having those negative thoughts. Because the way we think affects how we feel, which affects how we behave. And you've got to really look at that. We tend to overlook or step on the thought and we go right to the feeling. What is making you
Yeah.
feel that way? Because if you're working and all you're thinking about is your day off, and then on your day off, all you're thinking about is how crappy things are going to be in the future, you're really stuck in a rut. And maybe
Yeah.
it needs to be you set up a certain time every day where you worry about that or channel it and write it down. Pain is real, but I'm not going to let pain win. I'm not going to let
Yeah.
me decide what I can and can't do. There are times where I might say to you, I can't do, I guess that I try not to, but there might be a time where I'll say to you, like tonight, I had an emergency, but I might say to you, I'm not feeling well tonight. I can't do it. Then I'm in real pain. I know my limits.
Yeah.
But I made sure that I rested in bed while I was researching this talk and while I was writing notes. I was doing that while I was in bed with pillows behind my back, with my legs up and propped for an hour. So
Oh.
I wasn't over a desk doing this. I was
Uh-huh.
in bed comfortable.
Good.
I was ready to do the talk. And that's how I look at it. I want to make it so the three C's, if it helps, catch it, check it, and then change the thought. You'll have to put those thoughts in there though, in the beginning. You'll have to literally say them to yourself. But eventually it becomes just second nature. And it will.
Yeah.
Um
If you do it, if you
do it. You gotta
that's
check
what.
those unhelpful thoughts, come up with coping statements, soothing strategies. What are the things you like? How can you plan for them? Um, and the chronic pain activities, where I wrote a note about it. I wrote, okay, let's see what my note means. Sometimes I don't even know what they mean. It says chronic pain leads to decreased activity, deconditioning leads to negative emotions. So I must have meant, okay, I'm in chronic pain, therefore I'm not going to be as active. My muscles might atrophy a little bit. I'm going to be deconditioned. And then when I go back to do the same activity, I won't have the strength. Now I can say, see, my pain really is getting to me. I can't even do the dishes. Or I can say, you know what? You haven't been keeping up on this. You have to remember you can only do a little bit at a time. Do the little, look at
Yeah.
a great job I did rather than focus on the negative. Again, incredibly easy to say, incredibly hard to do. So it's not a miracle pill by any chance. It is a difficult thing. But I don't want you to do the avoidance and withdrawal because that's the next piece. When you have chronic pain, decreased activity, your thoughts are negative, you then start avoiding people, avoiding activities. I've done this, withdrawing. I used to, have a group Friday nights where we would meet up a bunch of female therapists and
Aw.
Christians, and we would talk. That all went to the wayside because my pain, it hurt. I didn't want. I'm not going to go tonight, And then people started doing that, and the group fell apart, and it was a great group
Oh,
because that
good.
avoidance and withdrawal. Where does that lead us? Right back into our addiction because now
Hmm.
we're withdrawing and we're avoiding. So we need to do something to make us feel better. We go for the drug.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
we need that
all,
connection.
and that's where the opposite of addiction is connection.
Yeah.
So chronic pain, I mean, it's probably, it's almost 6. Yeah, it's a good place to stop because you could see how it leads right into addiction. And I think that's what happened with me. My pain,
Yeah.
my chronic pain was so bad that I started not doing all the fun activities. Then I started feeling negative. Then I would withdraw. And well, my pain hurts. I might as well take 2 pills instead of one. What about 3 instead of one? I mean, it really helped last night when I took 2. Oh, wait a second. Now I only have 1 for the next 3 days. I'm supposed to take 4 a day. So I'm 11 pills behind. So now I have to move the doctor's appointment. Anybody recognize that? Down that road.
Yep.
So we see Ed.
This is it. I love Ed. Ed is the best.
Oh, Spider. Is that Deadpool? Deadpool's my favorite character in the whole wide world, Ed. So, all right, if it's Deadpool, awesome. If it's Spider-Man, I'm getting confused. Okay, Dr. Doctor, I have some news that might make you think me insane. Absolutely not.
He's not insane at all.
I laugh, and the wackier and more efficient I become, love it. You
I
are
know, isn't that awesome?
negative, and you're making it a positive.
Yeah.
This
I know. That's so perfect. That's perfect way to end this too. It was awesome.
Yeah, this
Thank you, Ed. Ed is the best. He's always sending me stuff that just cracks me up. He's
Well,
so much fun.
Deadpool stuff. You want to make me happy? Deadpool stuff. I just think Deadpool and Ryan. When I was a little
It makes me scream. I've watched that movie over and over.
Deadpool. I mean, I was 7, 8 years old reading Deadpool, understanding the sarcasm with the cartoons, and now Ryan Reynolds just is the perfect Deadpool.
Isn't he the best for that?
He's exactly what I imagined when I was a child reading the comics. So Deadpool is absolutely amazing. And it's kind of like, laughing at your pain is kind of like Deadpool going, maximum effort.
Yes.
Right? He's really not, because he doesn't need maximum effort. He's amazing at what he does. You're doing a Deadpool move there. I use Deadpool in therapy all the time, So I love that. Thank you. That's a great place to end.
I know. Thank you, Ed.
I was in the 1970s, so we don't want to talk about that. That's amazing.
Well, Dr. Kay, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this with us, because
I made some difference. That's important.
I've been teaching at the local college I teach. In the fall, I just do a community thing at the community college. Just anybody in the community can come, and I've been teaching people methods to deal with chronic pain. But the stuff you've been saying tonight, I've never heard before. So this is awesome. I've learned so much tonight, and I needed to hear this.
Oh.
So thank you.
So we'll decide what we're going to do for next week, but we can always come back to this. And I'd like to know I know it's almost 6, but between now and next week, let me know if anybody had the pity party from 7 to 8 or whatever hour you picked out of the day. Tell me how it went, because it's going to feel weird, but it's going to make a huge difference. I promise it will. So thank you. Namaste. I mean that. And I will be back Monday, if not sooner. And thank you again for having me on the lifeboat. I love it.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for everything you do. And thanks for letting me be late today. Had an emergency.
Not a problem. I understand.
All right.
It was definitely one you had to handle. So,
yeah. And it went very well. So things are good.
Good. Okay. All right. We'll see you later then.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here tonight, both in the lifeboat and over in my channel. Thank you. You guys are the best. I hope that you guys have gotten something out of this, as I definitely did. I know there are a lot of us on the lifeboat that deal with chronic pain, and for us as addicts, we cannot go back to opiates. It's just not an option. I hope maybe if I'm really old and close to death, but until then, I got to deal with that other ways. Anyway, you guys have a great night, and I will see you guys again in the morning. So you take care. We'll see you then.